A decade-old murder, detectives say, is now solved. Mayra Velasquez sits in jail charged with the 2012 murder of Aracima Chavez, stabbed to death inside her South Collins Street apartment in Arlington. Today, detectives spoke out about the case and the emotional moment they finally got to tell the victim's family there was a suspect. Scoop Jefferson explains how a plastic fork led to that arrest.
Even after years on the job, the detective in this cold case says nothing prepared her for the emotions of telling the family that their loved one's killer had been found. After more than a decade of trying to solve a brutal murder,
that's why
homicide detective Tracy Dixon became emotional, sharing the moment she told her victim's family about the break in the case.
being able to share that with the family is why we do this work.
Dixon worked as the lead detective in the January 2012 murder of 32-year-old Aracima Chavez, found inside her South Collins Street apartment, stabbed more than 100 times. But not even this video, Dixon says, showing Chavez opening the door for her killer led to an arrest back then. The break in the case came after Arlington PD teamed up with Dallas FBI to use the genetic genealogy program.
It starts with an unknown DNA sample recovered from a scene. That sample is then submitted to a publicly accessible genealogy service to identify potential relatives of the unknown DNA profile.
After the unknown DNA came back as a Hispanic female, undercover officers confiscated plastic forks they say 42-year-old Mayra Velasquez used at lunch with friends. Velasquez, a friend of Chavez, identifies herself on Facebook as a realtor with a local real estate company. And police say DNA from the fork identifies her as the killer, held in the Tarrant County Jail on capital murder, now one of more than a dozen solved cases for the department.
That is closing the loop for families who have been waiting years for the closure.
The investigation is ongoing, but detectives say right now Velasquez is the only suspect in this case. In Arlington, I'm Scoop Jefferson.